John Lucas, a Jamaican Maine police officer who has been detained by ICE, agreed to self-deport and leave the United States. Tyrone Bowman live. According to The Guardian, I'm going to show you a photo of John Jon Lucas Evans. And he had been employed by local police after the federal database confirmed his eligibility to work. And this image is provided by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And it shows John Luke Evans, a Jamaican employed as a police officer in Maine. So he has agreed to pay the cost, self-deport, and go back to Jamaica. So exactly how did this happen? Well, let's deal with this story and unpack it here on Tyrone Bowman Live. A Jamaican Maine police officer arrested by immigration authorities has agreed to voluntarily leave the country, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, said on Monday. ICE arrested the Old Orchid Beach Police Department Reserve Officer John Luke Evans of Jamaica on the 25th of July as part of the agency's effort to step up immigration enforcement. Officials with the town and police department have said federal authorities previously told them Evans was legally authorized to work in the U.S. An ICE representative reached by telephone told the Associated Press on Monday that a judge has granted voluntary departure for Evans and that he could leave as soon as that day. The representative did not provide other details about Evans's case. Evans's arrest touched off a dispute between Old Orchid Beach officials and ICE. The police chief, Elsie Chard, has said the department was notified by federal officials that Evans was legally permitted to work in the country and that the town submitted information via the Department of Homeland Security E-Verify program before Evans's employment. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security, then accused the town of reckless reliance on the department's E-Verify program. E-Verify is an online system that allows employers to check if potential employees can work legally in the U.S. The town was aware of reports that Evans plans to leave the country voluntarily, Chard said on Monday. The town reiterates its ongoing commitment to meeting all state and federal laws regarding employment, Chard said in a statement. We will continue to rely on the I-9 employment eligibility verification form and the E-Verify database to confirm employment eligibility. Well, if that's the case, what happened with Evans? If the system is so reliable, and if it's supposed to work, then what's happening in his case? Either he is legally entitled to work here or he's not legally entitled to work here. It can't be both ways. And the fact that he has agreed to self-deport and pay all the costs incurred with it means that the alternative would be they were going to deport him anyway. So he could do it voluntarily or they could do it. Either way, he was going to have to leave the country. For those of you, and you better listen, heed this advice and heed it well. For those of you that are here on work visas from other countries, make sure that your paperwork is up to date. Make sure that your employer is compliant with the laws. Make sure your green card is up to date. Make sure your visas are up to date. Make sure your status is up to date. This administration is not playing. Black and brown people, Africans, whatever you want to call yourselves, you better wake up. And it's not only happening here in America, it's happening around the world where black people have migrated to. ISIS detainee lockup website said on Monday that Evans was being held at the Donald W. Wyatt Detention Facility in Central Falls, Rhode Island. However, a representative for Wyatt said Evans had been transferred to an ICE facility in Burlington, Massachusetts. ICE officials did not respond to requests for comment on the discrepancy. It was unclear if Evans was represented by an attorney, which would have made a difference, and a message left for him at the detention facility was not returned. ICE officials said in July that Evans overstayed his visa, and unlawfully attempted to buy a firearm. So how is he a police officer employed by the state of Maine if he's not legally entitled to carry a firearm? The main news outlet WMTW reported Monday that Evans' agreement to a voluntary departure means he will be allowed to leave the U.S. at his own expense to avoid being deported. He was going to be deported anyway. This is a no win-win situation for this guy. Maybe he thought being a police officer was going to spare him. Take a good look. Didn't work. Never surrender. Never quit.